All right, I think I'm live. I think we're live. Let's double check and make sure that we are live and all good. Takes a second for everything to go through. Let's see. There we are. All right. Hello, 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 everybody. There we go. All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome to today's live. We are actually going to be doing a hot seat today we're going to be doing a hot seat today. On today's call, I actually have a guest here with me who is going to be very, very brave and come up and kind of put their cards on the table, ask me their questions. We're going to look at their Facebook page and we're going to do a real live one-on-one coaching session together here on this live today. We're going to give just a minute for everybody to come rolling in. I need to do a quick, nope, that needs to go away. I just need to do one thing real quick while everybody's popping in. Let me know in the comments that you're here. Say hi in the comments and let me know where you're from. I always like to see that. I get people from all over the United States joining on these lives, which is fantastic. Excuse me. All right. I think we're just about ready. I was just thinking I need one more thing. Oh, I remembered what the one more thing was. Before I bring my guest up, I first want to talk about a lot of the things that we're going to be talking about today. First of all, my guest is from Handmade Sellers Club. They are a member of the Handmade Sellers Club. And a lot of what I'm going to be talking about on this live today is you're going to hear references to training, and specific strategies that I teach inside of the Handmade Sellers Club. So if you're listening in and you're like, what is this darn Handmade Sellers Club and how do I become a part of it? I'm going to drop a link in the comments as long as I find the right one here. I'm going to drop a link in the comments for you to go check out Handmade Sellers Club. See everything that's included. And again, the things that I talk about during this hot seat, you'll hear me say things like, I've already looked at the page a little bit. So you're going to hear me talk about things like page makeover, following the prompts for profits, using the quick cash method. All of those strategies we lay out in the Handmade Sellers Club in our super seller system. So when you're a Handmade Sellers Club member, you get our super seller system. And so if you need help with your Facebook page and you're looking to make more sales from your Facebook page, Handmade Sellers Club is our super seller system is the step-by-step process to getting sales from your Facebook page. Even if you don't have a website, even if you don't have Etsy, those things can help, but you don't need to have a website or Etsy in order to make sales on Facebook. You can follow our Prompts for Profits calendar and follow the super seller system and be able to see results on your page, meaning actual real sales. So today what we're going to do is we're bringing up a member of the super seller system. Hold on. Can you guys hear me? I just had my mouse just died. I was going to say, just told me that I have a USB issue. Let me see if I can unplug and replug this mouse in. Otherwise, we're in trouble. So give me 1 second here. All right, hopefully that, nope. All right, I do not have a mouse. I don't know if I have a backup mouse. And I cannot let our guest up here, and I cannot put their page up here without a mouse. So, let me see if I have a backup here. I don't think I do. Let me try one more time. See if I can plug it in somewhere else. All right, I'm gonna try one more thing here. I'm gonna unplug my computer or my printer. Not my computer. Okay, I have a mouse. That's scary. As I was at least up here, if I have to, I can unplug it and replug it in again. Because it seems like when I do that, it comes back, but then I lose it again. So fingers crossed. Excuse me. This works. Okay, now we're going to do a hot seat. I didn't even know how I was going to leave this stream. Like if I don't have a mouse, I can't even leave the stream. I would have to just like shut my entire computer down. So now we're going to bring up our guest. I want to welcome Pam with Pamela's Threads. Welcome. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
I am so glad, and I'm so glad to have you here, and I'm so glad that the mouse is working so we can actually do this. I was like, oh, I'm going to feel so bad if we have to like end this and we can't actually do the hot seat. So introduce yourself, let everybody know who you are and what it is that you do.
Okay. I'm Pam. I'm the owner of Pamela's Threads and Memories, and what I do is I make I make embroidered towels. For the most part, that's my niche is kitchen towels. I also do embroidered monogram bath towels. The dog's towels I do with the ball. I personalize towels as well, and that's the niche what I do. I actually originally started out with memory bears, and now I'm embroidering towels. I still do my bears on the side, but this is my business here.
Okay.
I'm located in Pennsylvania. I ship all over the U.S. And yeah, that's me.
Perfect. So do you sell in person as well?
Yes.
Okay. And about how many shows do you do a year?
I just started. Last year was my first full year doing this. I think I did 5 shows last year.
Okay. And you figure on about doing that many this year? Or are you increasing or decreasing that?
I'm going to increase until my online sales pick up.
Okay.
That's what I would like to do. I have 4 on the book so far for spring.
Okay, perfect. So what is your question? Where are you stuck? What do you want help with?
I want help with my Facebook page. I did have the review when I first joined over a year ago, and I did a lot of changes. And then after doing the training, I just want to gauge where I am on that.
Okay.
And also photos. I know we talked about the difference between like website photos and social media photos, and I don't quite understand the difference.
Okay, we can definitely talk about that. So right now, excuse me, how are things going for you? So if you want to see improvements on your Facebook page, where are you, and where would you like it to go? Where would you like my help to help you get to?
I want to increase my followers, and I want to increase engagement from my followers.
Okay.
I did gain a lot of the correct kind of followers after doing actually the challenge that I did. What made me join Handmade Sellers was after a challenge.
The 5-day challenge?
It was a 5-day challenge. It was a year and a half ago. Last spring is when I did it.
Perfect. And so how are sales? Is sales something that I'm assuming you want to increase sales, but have you seen an increase in sales over time? Are you kind of stagnant? Where are you with sales?
Actually, just this week, it's only Tuesday, and I got to, what do they call them? Organic. Someone reached out through one of the groups that I'm not even a member and recommended me, and she reached out. And I also have another one that she's just been following me and talking about having something made. And this week we solidified that as well. So I would say definitely increasing.
Perfect.
Definitely increasing.
I
I
love
just
that.
like to give it another
Yeah,
bump.
let's jump up that next step and let's take that to the next level. So that's
Yes.
what we're going to do today. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and share your page. And I'm just basically going to do a Facebook page review. But what I like about doing it kind of live with you is we can kind of go back and forth and you can talk about like these are the things that are working for you or not. And I can ask you some questions so we can really fine tune it between the two of us
Perfect.
versus me just going through your page and like, just from my perspective, saying what I see. We can have a dialogue about it. All right. So we're going to add that to the stage. All right. So this is the Facebook page. I'm actually going to go on the other page to look at it from there. Pamela's Threads, embroidered towels, and more. So when I do these Facebook page reviews, I look at the top 3 elements first: the cover photo, the profile pic, and the page name. And for anybody that's new here, this is what we call the area that's above the fold. So this is above where the customer doesn't have to scroll, right? So above the fold comes from, back in the day with newspapers, and I guess they still exist, or, those newspaper boxes that you put your quarter in, or even if you buy a newspaper off a newspaper stand, the newspaper is folded in half. And the information that's above the fold is what makes you want to buy that newspaper. Ooh, there's a, salacious headline or an interesting photo or just something that catches your attention that says, I want to know more. So when we're looking at a Facebook page like this, we're looking at the area above the fold before anybody even scrolls, and we try to make the decision, or we try to see whether or not this is something that's going to entice people to want to scroll down to actually click that like or follow button, and pull them into your world. Okay. So that's what we want to look for this top part. So I look at, does it tell me what it is that you sell, and does it make me desire what it is that you sell? I think you've nailed the what is it that you sell? The page name, Pamela's Threads, embroidered towels. Boom, you just say it. My buddy Duncan and I talk all the time about like marketing and stuff, and I say, just say the thing. Just say the thing. Just say the thing. Don't be all fancy about it. So yours is straight and to the point. It's just, this is what you sell: embroidered towels. You've got the and more there, which I think is fine. That gives you some room to kind of bring out a little bit of something else if that's what you want. We follow kind of that 80-20 rule, that as long as at least 80% of your posts are about the main subject of your page, then the and more is not that big of a deal. So when somebody comes to this page and they're looking for a custom towel, or they're interested in embroidered towels, they're going to see that this is a page that they would be interested in. And if somebody's like, I don't really get embroidered towels, I'm not a big fan of it, they're going to go away. So this does pull in the customer that you want and pushes away the customer that you don't want. Now let's look at your cover photo. So you use the template, which I think is a great idea. When you're a Handmade Sellers Club member, everybody gets a template for their cover photo. And you use the template and you have 5 pictures of what you sell here. I think that there's some finesse that we can do here. Okay. So the top here that says handmade with love, that's really not giving me any additional information to maybe give me more information about the product or make me want to lean in anymore. Almost anybody can put that tagline, handmade with love, and it just doesn't have too much of meaning for the customer, for the brand new person that comes in. They're not really looking necessarily for handmade with love. They don't know who you are. They don't know that they want your love, right? So usually what I do is I'll scroll down a little bit. And a lot of times what people have in their intro works really well for this tagline up here. So I kind of like fun handmade, fun embroidered towels. Um, you could just have fun embroidered bath and hand towels. That could work. Because I know we were talking that you do the bath towels, hand towels, and the pet towels. So you could say fun embroidered. I don't know if I want to do 3, but if we were going to do 3, we could do fun embroidered hand, bath, and pet towels. Or we could just do 2 fun embroidered hand and bath towels. Okay. So it's just giving a little bit more information on the kinds of towels that you make. And we're adding the word fun in there. Because people do like fun. They want to have fun and they want to find something that is fun and interesting. Make sense? All right. And so then I'm not a big fan of this purple color. And nothing else about your page gives me that purple color. And even your profile pic has more natural colors. And then you have this purple. And a lot of times people do the purple or red or yellow because they're like, ooh, that's really catching attention and people are going to see it. We don't want the strip of color to catch attention. We want the products to catch attention. The strip of color is only there to complement the products. And this color has nothing to do with the colors of the products. So I would recommend when you're on Canva and you go to select a color for this background, it will tell you common colors that are showing up in the products that you have in these 5 products. And you can pick one of those, but you tend to want to go with something neutral. I tend to like going dark and then putting your text in white. It helps the text pop a little bit. I'm not a big fan of like that negative space where it's black background with white print, unless it's a very short headline, which is what this would be. So it will help draw attention to the words, which that we can draw attention to. So we want them to read the words and we want the pictures to pop without any distracting color that takes us away from what we're supposed to be looking at. So that's what I would recommend doing, like a dark maroon. This maroon color pops up a lot. You've got on the chicken, you've got on the wine glass, we've got that dark maroon color. So that's what I would recommend for this top area here, would probably be something like the dark maroon. Now in the pictures themselves, I love this picture on the right. I think that looks nice. I like the wine glass picture. I think that looks nice. I like the chicken picture. We're going to talk about your pictures with backgrounds here in a little bit. So I don't want to get too picky on this because we'll talk about that later. But this middle picture, while it does show the pet towels, it feels a little wah compared to the other pictures. There's just a lot of like empty space, and there's not, each one of these has more focus, and this feels spread out. What I would love to see here for you, Pam, if we go to your photos, you've got a picture of you holding the chicken. You got a picture of you holding the fish. You're doing great with selfies because I went through and I looked at some of your past posts. There's you with the chicken again. I would find a really good, you're reusing a lot of these though. I gave you kudos and I'm going to take it back. You need more selfie pictures. You need more selfie pictures of you holding the product. So I would go back through and find good pictures of you holding the product. If you want to do this one here, that one's perfectly fine. I don't know. Is that the same chicken that's on the cover photo?
I'm not sure.
Let me move this over a little bit. There we go. Is that the same chicken? It's a very similar chicken. So I would use this selfie of you with the product or take a new one and then replace this left-hand chicken with something else like maybe the flamingos or let's see, where's a really good one? We just don't want to duplicate the chicken, right? You could do that. Oh, I love him. That ostrich, that's fantastic. So you could do something like that, or the cow. I noticed, I watched one of your reels and you said that you sell a lot of the cows. So maybe the cow, put it up front. The biggest thing is whatever your good sellers are, your best sellers, put those up top here. Because if people really love them in person, then that's a great thing to capture attention and pull people in right from the get-go with this cover photo. Does that make sense? Does that sound good?
It does. So you're saying replace the left-hand chicken with that selfie, or a new selfie with a chicken.
I
And
would
then
put the
replace-
selfie of you in the middle, replace the pet paws.
Okay.
So it's just like you right there. You're Pamela, right? Like this is Pamela's threads. This is you, you're Pamela, and you're just putting yourself right there in the middle. There's a face there. It already makes the company feel more personal.
Okay.
And then because if you're going to use the selfie of you with the chicken, then just replace the chicken with another popular piece,
Okay.
just so we don't have two chickens on the front. It just makes it a little unbalanced.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions so far?
Nope. I have all my notes and I'm good.
All right. So let's get on to the profile pic. This profile pic, if I go to your posts and I look at your profile pic, I can't tell what that is at all. It's brightly colored, but I don't know what it is that I'm looking at. And it's not even clear that what I'm seeing is a towel. Now, there is a challenge here because towels are not very photogenic by themselves. So what I would recommend, what is something that like people kind of know you for this design? Do you have any designs like that?
As far as, I don't understand the question.
As far as like designs you're putting on the towels, like you mentioned in the reel that you sell a lot of cows.
Right. People love the snarky chickens.
Okay. So you could do something like, I didn't have Canva open. Let me get Canva open and then we can pop over there. We can kind of play around with this. So you can pick something on Canva. Would you say that your style is maybe a bit country? Or would you say that you haven't really kind of like picked a style?
Yeah, I don't think I've really picked the style.
What is something that you love?
Baby animals, sloths, dolphins, nature, animals.
Okay. Do you like chickens?
I do.
Yeah, that was kind of
I do.
Okay. So
They're funny.
What I would say is doing just something simple. It doesn't have to be an exact so our logo, right, doesn't have to be an exact representation of the product. And that's what the profile picture is basically your logo. We want something that really pops and stands out for people that they know, oh, it's that person, right? And your product isn't very photogenic to be that thing. So one of the things we can do is we can, here I'm on Canva. You can search for things that, so you could do something like your Pamela's threads. So we can put something in like thread. You could have, something like a spool of thread. So that kind of represents what it is you're doing. Now, this is very dark because I put it on a color background. Is that showing? Yeah, I want to make sure that's showing. But this particular design, you can actually make it white. Now, will that show up when it's really small? I'm not sure. We're gonna have to test that. We can, if you look at graphics on Canva, you could do something like, is this similar to the kind of thread that you use? Is this similar to what your spools look like?
No, my spools are more like cones. Or
Okay.
the regular. I'm pointing and you can't see what I'm pointing at.
Kind of like these cones?
Yeah, go up a little bit. That pink, or the green or the pink. See in the middle? More like those.
Okay. And it doesn't have to be exact,
Right.
but we want it to be that the customer knows what it is they're seeing. So even something like this, where we're seeing like a group of them, and we can change this background color. We can make it white. And so it would just be these pieces would stand out. Just something that either represents the thing that you do. And you know me, I'm a big person on it's not, we don't really want to sell the process, we want to sell the product, right?
Right.
It's just that the product is a little bit harder. Like what you do, like it just looks like folded stuff. And a lot of these graphics don't necessarily have, I mean, something like this could almost work. Especially if you put like, you could almost do something like a PT for Pamela's threads. Hold on. Come on. There we go. And you're not going to be able to see that too well at that size. This is just me kind of playing around here. And we could do it in, I don't know, something like that. And font size 100. So now the question is can you take something like that? And this is not, this is just me playing around with stuff. So it kind of looks like a towel hung over a towel hanger. And then you could put PT there. You could put a little, like a simple little, like an outline of a chicken, kind of like how I have the outline of the dog up here. If we took that dog, instead of PT, pasted that dog on there. Will that really pop? I don't know. We got to test it, right? You'll hear me say that a lot. Sometimes we just have to test things to see whether or not that's going to work with what we're doing. And the way that you test it is you can come on Canva and shrink it down. Like, can I still tell what it is? We're going to lose the shape of the dog, right? The smaller we get with this, the more we're going to lose the shape of the dog. But you can also just play around with different profile pics on the page itself. Upload a new one and then go to the posts and see if it pops right there. The other thing you can do is maybe make like 4 different profile pic options. Just play around with Canva. Take an hour, set a timer, take an hour and say, I'm going to create 4 different ideas on Canva. And then come to the Handmade Sellers Club, upload all 4 ideas and ask for feedback. And that's going to send you in a good direction. But right now, what's happening with your page is it's not, your page itself is not getting branded. The product isn't getting branded. The page itself isn't getting branded because it's so muddy. What we're trying to look at is so unclear and we don't even know what we're looking at, right? So we just want something that pops. Excuse me. Excuse me. Michelle said, why not just an embroidered PT? If she can't find one, make it and take a picture. Yeah, if you just put like PT for Pamela's threads, if you embroidered that on a little piece of cloth and took an up close picture of that, that would have like texture to it. I love that idea, Michelle. It would have like some texture to it. And then you got to make sure you have good contrast, that the PT stands out. But then we're going to see the threads and the texture when it's a little bit bigger. And when it goes small, we can still at least make out the PT and pick a color that you feel represents your brand, represents you, your favorite color, and then do a good contrasting thread. So I would tend to go with a dark color and a white thread. But if you want to go light color, dark thread, that's fine. But I like that idea a lot. That's a really good idea.
Thank you, Michelle.
Yes, that's really good. And that may be like, rather than trying to figure out all the Canva, like all the Canva ideas, that's like right in your wheelhouse. You already know how to embroider something on a towel. So I like that. That's a great idea. Let's see. And all right, so that's the top 3 elements. And I think that change is going to help really just make it back up a little bit. Whatever color you do that profile pic with, if you do like that dark burgundy red and white text, and then did the dark burgundy up here, I think that would look really, really nice and professional and clean and cohesive, right? It's gonna feel like it's just bringing everything together. So now that we've looked at that, you do have 238 followers. So how many followers did you have when you joined?
Oh my goodness, not even 50.
Okay. So you've been gaining followers, which is fantastic. Is there anything specifically that you're doing to increase followers, or are you just doing your posts?
I'm just doing my posts.
Okay. Are you doing the quick cash method?
Yes and no.
Okay.
As far as
what does that mean?
Go. I should probably do it a little bit more than I have been as far as the groups go and the posts for that. Excuse me.
No problem. I got the same thing. I got my tissue sitting right here. I just got the drip.
Oh, allergies are terrible. But that's what I've been concentrating on is the calendar.
Okay.
And getting the posts out there and reels, practicing reels.
So I've got ideas for your reels.
Yes.
The quick cash method. Your business is built for the quick cash method. There's no reason why you can't go absolutely nuts on the quick cash method. First of all, you've got a flamingo towel, right? You could probably do a bunch of different flamingo towels. There are flamingo lovers groups. We had a lady that was painting flamingos on glasses and posting in the flamingo lovers groups, and they went nuts over these glasses, and she would sell all kinds of glasses. I had a client that made a pumpkin spice latte style product and just went and found a pumpkin spice latte group and sold like 50 of her product because the pumpkin spice latte. We have in the group, we have the Sally that does the napkin holders. One of the other members posted her golden doodle napkin holder in a group, and she got over 100 orders from that one single golden doodle napkin holder. So the reason why this is built for you is you can literally create any affinity product that you want to on a towel, right? So we're still sticking with the towels. These are still embroidered towels. But if you find a group of people that are passionate about X, make them a towel and drop the towel in the group and say, hey, I just finished this towel. What do you guys think? Like, or do a selfie of you with the towel and tell like, oh, my name's Pamela. I love to make these towels. And I love how this flamingo towel turned out. I think it's so cute, right? A hint that you made it, saying nothing about selling it, and go into the flamingo groups and go into the whatever group, right? And you can start with your own interests. The thing about your products is you've got a lot of what I would call like generic designs that, yes, maybe chicken lovers will like some things, but it's things that you can find at Walmart that everybody likes: wine bottles and puppy paws and sassy chickens. What you can do, though, is create products specifically to niches that don't see themselves represented at Walmart. So there, if I have a pit bull and I want a pit bull towel, I'm not going to find a pit bull towel at Walmart. I'll find sunflowers. I'll find pretty Christmas ones with Santa Claus on it. I'll find chickens. I'll find all kinds of things, but I'm not going to find my pit bull. If I like parrots, I think I've mentioned parrots before, of like parrots on towels. I talked to somebody about it. Like, I love parrots, and I have this parrot embroidered towel that my mom found at a garage sale. It's got lovebirds. they count as parrots, but in my world, that's barely a parrot. But it had lovebirds. I'm like, lovebirds. Like, I love lovebirds, but you don't find lovebirds and you don't find macaws and conures and that sort of thing at Walmart. So you can literally make any kind of towel that you want if you can find the design for it. Or do you design some of these yourself?
I don't know. I
No.
purchased them.
So what you do is maybe when you're looking for the designs, like when you're shopping on whatever website or whatever you use to look at the designs, find the things that you're like, well, that's interesting. Like, I don't see that every day. And then go look to see if there's groups. You only have to make one product. You test it in the group. And if it's a dud, it's a dud. You only made one. You can sell it on your page, right? Somebody eventually will want it. But if it takes off, you can then make 50 or 100 based on what those people like. So you're tailoring products to people who want the product instead of saying, I'm just going to make a product and I hope to find people that like the products that I'm already making. You're going to be proactive and say, I'm going to find where these people are underrepresented and where these people are passionate. Anybody that would buy a bumper sticker saying they are XYZ, or if they would carry a keychain to show people, or a t-shirt to be like, I'm part of this community, right? My youngest is a cuber. Anything that has a cube on it, everybody in that community, they're buying the t-shirts, the bags, the hats, the backpacks. They're buying everything that has a cube on it because they're passionate about their interest and they want to show the world that passion. And if you do that with towels, now that's an interesting direction to take it. So they're like, I love cubes so much. Now, I don't know if cubers are your market because they're like 14-year-old boys. So you want like people who are actually decorating their kitchen, like women. But I saw in your post that you kind of teased the dragon design, which we had talked about. I don't know if I talked about that on Monday or when I talked about it, but I said something like a giant dragon, right?
I took your advice.
Yeah, and I saw the dragon design. So there's dragon lovers groups, there's D&D groups. These women are my age, sometimes a little younger, sometimes a little older. They're decorating their kitchen and they don't want to have a chicken or a sunflower or whatever. They want to be them. They want to show the world who they are. And this is exactly what made my rabbit toy business successful, is because my customers could not find their special interest at the pet store. They wanted toys for their rabbit and the pet store wasn't catering to it. So when they found me, they bought everything that I had because they're like, oh my gosh, you have this. And I've been looking for this. And finally I can buy something like this. Right. And so they just went nuts and they would come back and they would buy from me over and over and over and over and over again. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So start with some of your own interests, things that you're passionate about, and then kind of like really passionate about, or think about people in your family. What are they really passionate about? Think of people in your family that have dogs. I had a lady a couple of years ago would make hand-painted signs with dogs on them. And she painted a sign for her sister who had like a German Shepherd or something. And then she took that sign and posted it to a German Shepherd group and sold like 10 signs, right? So think of like animals that your family has. A bearded dragon towel. We have a bearded dragon at home, right? So like German short-haired pointers are super popular right now. And then go look for the German short-haired pointer lovers groups. And some groups won't let you post. Other groups will. I know for a fact there's a dash hound group out there that it's all about products that they find with dash hounds on them. Right? So all of these markets are sitting and just waiting for a product to show up in their feed that speaks to them. And you can make anything. You are in a very fortunate position that you can make anything. And I call this micro niches within a focus, right? So you have your unique product focus, but you have all of these little micro niches that like what's the word I'm looking for? That are like tentacles off your main product focus. And you can just pick whatever market you want. make one product, go into that market, offer it. If they like it, you'll sell a ton. If they don't, you're not really out much, and you move on and you find another one until you find the ones that hit. That makes sense?
It does. I love it. I'm excited.
I'm excited too because your product is perfect for this. It's not everybody's product is, but your product is perfect for this. So let's look through some of your posts. I do like how you did the screenshot or the picture from the phone versus a screenshot. I have to remember to do that too. In fact, I'm going to go back and take pictures of the screen for some of the testimonials that I was going to share because this is so much better. It makes it more interesting than just a screenshot. So that's a good post. I like that. I like the selfies of you. All right, so let's talk about your pictures. You were asking like the difference between a website style photo and a social media photo. So you're using backgrounds that are not your background, right? Is there anything, if I look at your photos, is there any time that you do use your own background?
I believe that one towel with the wooden background, that's the floor.
This
The
one
one with
here?
the giraffe.
Oh, the giraffe.
Go to your right. It has the giraffes.
Okay.
That
Okay.
I
And you got
blurred
that.
it, but that's
Yeah.
the floor.
Okay. So first of all, I know your product is long. We usually want to use a square photo because Facebook will cut off the top and bottom of this unless you're on, even on mobile, it will cut off top and bottom. It cuts off less of it, but we tend to want to do square or rectangle that goes wide, which is a little bit tough because your product is tall. So if this is a fake background, right?
Yes.
I'm sure that you can find a giraffe lovers group, by the way. So like the ones like this and the ones like that you have the chicken on, I think if you absolutely have to use a background that you didn't take the picture on, those are the two that I find acceptable. That one, the giraffe here. And it's still somewhat obvious that it's photoshopped, but it's not too bad. And Willow's probably going to have different opinions than me on some of this stuff. But I say, like, if that's what you need to do, that's understandable. What we don't want, let's look at this picture again. The towel is never going to be laying on a pool, right? So you're kind of like trying to be too literal of matching a background with the towel itself. And what happens is the background becomes distracting and it's super obvious that it's photoshopped and that it doesn't belong there.
Okay.
I almost like what you have with the ostrich. I think the ostrich is really cute. I just think he's got a great look on his face. I almost like this, except I know that towels don't stand up like that. You know what I mean? Like it's not laying flat, it's standing up. Not as bad as the water in the background. And then the flamingos, you've got all this stuff going on in the background. I'm starting to lose the point of the flamingo. Something like this that the chicken is on, it's got the blurry background. You could almost, it's tough again because you have a very rectangular product and we're trying to take a square photo. I would almost zoom in a bit more. But then sometimes it makes it feel a little claustrophobic because it's so close. This is the best picture. These are great. Do more of these. Selfie of you with the product because it's clear what I'm looking at. You're holding it. I can see the design is up close and in my face. It's not super far away. I can see you. Just having a person's face in the photo is bringing attention to the post itself. I like those pictures a lot. And same with this one. I'm not a fan of again, kind of the generic towels. I think that you just need to get crazy with your towel designs and find those specific niches. let's see. Let's go back to the posts. So yeah, don't, and that's what I was going to say here with the Christmas one. It feels unnatural for this to be on top of a winter landscape. It's distracting. It's weird. But this one, where it's next to a bottle of wine, totally makes sense. Love that. This one here looks like it. I don't know if this is your background or if you Photoshop that in, but this one looks really good. The chicken here is a little bit more zoomed in. I think I like this even better because it's not as bright in the background as this other chicken, and it feels like it's in a kitchen. I was also going to point out that down here we have this on a stove. So like more pictures of yours on the stove. And again, watch Willow's, anything Willow does with the product photography, watch her stuff. Cause this is kind of like it's floating along in the ether, and it's just like, it looks sad and alone. we want it to be warmer. So I would prefer that you Photoshop it like this one up here, or like the wine bottle, versus just having it like lay on a plain background like that. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay. And then what I would say on top of that, like this here, this wooden background like that, I think that it almost matches the towel a little bit too much, but I like this idea. Is this Photoshopped?
I tried to get it to look like it was hanging.
Okay. I whatever it is, it's believable. It's not distracting to me, other than the fact that it is a little matchy with the background, that the towel itself fades. But that's a nitpick. Now, what was I going to say after that? The towels themselves. You see, that looks like it's hanging. That I like. The difference between website and social post. So in your case, because your products are, so in the case of like a jewelry maker, the jewelry pops and it shines and it glistens, and we want to show them the whole thing. And we tend to go with a very neutral, plain background for the website photos, and something a little bit more stylized for social media. In this case, I would find like a consistent background that you could use, kind of like this chicken here. I like that it's next to a bowl. It looks like it's like in a kitchen. We want our backgrounds on a website to be pretty consistent with each other. Square images, consistent backgrounds, so that, again, the backgrounds are not constantly distracting, and this one's tall and skinny, and that one's wide and fat, and this one's got a really bright background, and that one's got a really dark background, and then the lighting on all of them is completely different. Pick a background that you're like, I can consistently stick with this one. And what that allows, what that does is it allows the actual design on the towel to be the thing that's different in each post, versus the background and the color and the shape and all of that. Make sense?
It does.
So we want the design to be the star. We want the design to be the star. But we also don't want it to be kind of flat and lifeless like it is here. So if I have to choose between this and this definitely is much warmer. It's much warmer and much more inviting. And makes me lean in more, where this feels like, I just threw it on the floor and took a picture. If you're going to throw it on the floor and take a picture, then just take a picture with you. Then just do a selfie instead.
Okay.
But yeah, I like kind of this kitchen-y look right here. I think that one works pretty well. But stay away from the super like matchy. We're going to put water in the background because it's ducks. And we're going to put, like this one, you're trying to put like fall leaves in the background. Let the towel show you fall leaves. You don't have to add more. Make the background more neutral. If you took that towel and put it on here, then it's going to pop a lot better, and I'm going to see those leaves, and I'm not going to be as distracted. Is that helpful?
It is very helpful.
Okay. And there I can see the dragon design coming along. Let me see. Let's scroll through a couple more. Oh, I want to talk about reels. So you've only done a handful of reels that I've seen. Actually, let's go back.
I'm learning.
But you have the opportunity to make like perfect reels without a whole lot of work on your behalf. And that is to make reels like this one here. So this is just you recording the process, right?
Yes.
Now, what we want to do when we're making a reel out of something like this, because I watched this for a while, and everything that I watched is just those couple of letters being created, which is not engaging for like a whole minute. After a while, I'm like, all right, I get it, and I'm moving on. What you can do is actually set up a camera for any time, and you might need a tripod that sits on the ground. You set up your piece, you record the entire process of that piece being made. Then what we'll do is you'll use something like InShot. You can use Canva, but InShot, have you used InShot yet?
I have that. Yes, I got it.
And Willow's going to create a tutorial on like good editing strategies on InShot, but you can show like 3 to 4 seconds of the first couple of stitches, and then 3 to 4 seconds of maybe we have the outline of the cow. Now we're filling in the white, and 3 to 4 seconds of that. So over maybe 30 seconds, I'm seeing this cow get filled in. And then the very last frame should be the very last of it. And then you picking it up and showing it to the screen. Even if you skip that part, we'll see the finished item here in the loom or whatever we call this, right? We're going to see the finished item there. So in 30 seconds, take me from blank towel, but something is happening, to, okay, I'm starting to see this come together. And now it just did the tongue. And now that it's starting to write the text, because look, we're still watching it. All we saw was a T. And so that's maybe interesting we could do this for maybe 10 seconds. And I'm going to be like, oh, cool, look at the needle. And then I'm done. I'm done with it. Like, that's probably too long for a reel like this. But you could do a nice reel where you're showing every piece you do. You just kind of clip out 3 to 5 seconds at the beginning, 3 to 5 seconds at the next step, 3 to 5 seconds at the next step. And I would try to keep it in 30 seconds. You could go to a minute, but only if each step is actually interesting, where we see the next thing that happens. Oh, and now we're going to this. Oh, that's cool. Oh, now we're going to this. That's cool. We had a member, you don't do the monarch butterfly earrings, right? That's somebody else.
Right.
Yeah. So she did a reel, and I thought it was fantastic. And it was exactly that. She was embroidering the monarch butterfly earrings, and you could kind of see the initial shape. And then she filled in the orange, and then it filled in the black, and then it showed her having cut them out. And then she puts them on the ear loops. And it was fantastic. I leaned in and watched the whole thing and thought, that's really, really cool. But with this, the second that people are like, okay, I'm not going to see anything new, and they click out of it or they skip it, it's telling Facebook this video isn't very interesting, so don't show it to a lot of people.
Got it.
But if you do 3 to 5 seconds of something interesting, and then 3 to 5 seconds of something else interesting, and when I say 3 to 5, like, I'd love to keep you to like 3. It's got to be that I see it long enough that I'm like, oh, okay, what's that going to be? And then it kind of gives me a little bit of payoff. Oh, okay, now I see it's going to be a cow. And then I get the next payoff. Oh, look at the little tongue sticking out. That's so cute. And then it takes me to the next payoff. And so I'm excited through the whole process as I see this cow come together. And I can't scroll past until I see the end. And I sat here and I watched this because I'm like, okay, I want to see this finished.
And it didn't. Oh, okay, I disappointed. I actually have one kind of similar to that. I think it's right before that with a pine tree.
Oh, these are I'm on the wrong thing. I was on a whole different page. I'm like, these are my reels. What is that?
It's right there. Yeah,
This one
that.
here?
Yeah. Join me today, stitching out one of my favorite designs. First, we measure and mark for placement.
Okay, don't tell me you're going to measure and mark for placement. You're showing me all the most boring parts.
Okay.
I mean, how many seconds are we in now? And I'm seeing you. Hold on.
Then we cut.
All right. Especially for a reel. Now you can make a post and kind of talk about some of your process, but a reel, they need to be interested from the get-go.
Okay.
Okay. So I see something is happening. There, that was, I would say you were too long on that first clip, but then because I stuck it out, I saw that it went to something else, and that was a payoff. You spent way more time showing me like how you mark things off. That is the least interesting part.
Okay.
Okay. So jump us to, you could say today we're going to make, the pine tree, whatever, as you put the tray or the what is that called? The frame?
The hoop.
The hoop. As you put the hoop in, say, kind of show the hoop for just a second and say, today we're going to make this pine tree. And then you put it in underneath and then you clip to it, making, like right now it's making the dog, but it's staying too long on the dog.
Okay.
I also would have liked to have seen it make some of the snow, just so that I saw a basis of what is it that I'm looking at, because I was a little bit confused there. But once you got to the pine tree, I'm like, oh, okay. And then you stopped showing me and you didn't show me the finished project.
Well, actually, I lost it.
Okay. Fair enough. It happens.
Moving, and it was all right there, and I don't know what happened to it.
But yeah, there's, so you can set up, I would do a tripod right here by your machine and have it set up so that when you set up the machine, you're just maybe show a little bit like, okay, here's the frame, or what'd you call it?
A hoop.
Hoop. Thank you. Here's the hoop. You kind of maybe show that to the camera, stick it in, let it do its thing. And then at the end, you're pulling the hoop out and you show it to the camera. If you've got to take like that plastic off and clean that up, then just take one more little picture at the end, and even a little bit of you like removing that film, 2 to 3 seconds of you removing the film, and then finished piece in front of the camera, because that's ultimately what we want, is the payoff. When I'm watching cake decorating videos on Facebook, if all it ever showed me was a couple of the lines, a couple of swirls, and they never showed me the finished product, I would never watch a cake decorating video. It's the same with the rug cleaners, right? You got rug cleaners, you got cake decorators, you've got all of these virals, these guys that do woodworking. They take you from the beginning and they're like, we're going to make a resin table today. And so then they're moving you quickly through the project so you can see it come together. And then you're starting to really see it come together. And then they show you the finished product at the end and you get that satisfaction. Otherwise, it's like a story without an ending. It's just like, here's something, but I don't get to see it. And your posts are always a finished products. So we always get to see it in a post. You want to make sure that's in the reel as well.
Got it.
Okay.
Perfect.
Any other questions?
No, we talked about the photos and my page review. And yeah, I'm just working on reels because I jumped on the TikTok bandwagon. I don't know why, but.
Well, if you're going to do reels, and as long as we have TikTok, you might as well post in the TikTok. If you're going to do reels, you can post them to the same exact video. So if this is not true, and I want everybody to hear me very clearly with this big caveat, this is not true of posts in general. It is difficult to cross-platform with posts. Facebook posts and Instagram posts are different. It's a different culture. Threads posts are different. It's a different culture. However, short form video, interesting short form video is pretty much the same across platforms. There is a little bit more culture on TikTok of what they're looking for in a reel or in short form video, but not everybody follows that. So if you're going to make a video, it can go up on Facebook, it can go up on Instagram, it can go up on TikTok for as long and whenever we have it. It can go up on Pinterest even. Pinterest has short form video as well. And it can even go up on YouTube. If you have a YouTube channel, I'm not telling everybody to run out there and do a YouTube channel, but the YouTube shorts are getting pretty good distribution. None of that hurts to cross post those videos other than the time it takes to take that same video and just post it to 5 different places. So if you're going to make an interesting video, the truth, the thing that is the same across all those platforms is the video's got to catch attention and be interesting and make people want to watch it. If they don't want to watch it, if they don't find it interesting, it doesn't matter what platform you're on, you're not going to get any traction. But you could have an interesting video, get like 0 or maybe like 10 views on Instagram, 1,000 views on TikTok, and 10,000 views on Facebook. The platforms are really wildly inconsistent sometimes. But as long as you're coming with quality video, at some point in time, you're going to catch hold on each one of those platforms and start gaining some traction there. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Cool. All right. We're going to take that off. I'm going to go through some of the comments, answer some questions, or maybe some people had some advice on here. If anybody has a question about what we just went over, about reels or Facebook posts, etc., now's a good time to ask. Let's see. Connie says, do you think it's wise to join other Facebook groups to show your specific handmade if allowed? So she said, you just answered my question. It makes sense. Yes. So Facebook groups is what we teach in the Quick Cash Method in Handmade Sellers Club. It is a fantastic strategy. However, you can't just go in and sell things in Facebook groups. That's a big no-no. So Quick Cash Method, I am very, very thorough about like what kinds of posts work, what kinds of groups to look for, when to join as your page, when to join as yourself, and the pros and cons of the different strategies. So if you really want to learn how to do selling in groups without selling and without being spammy, because you can join handmade product groups and post till the cows come home, and you're probably not going to sell a lot because those groups tend to be dead because everybody in there is over the top promotional. We're using a completely different strategy. I still get people saying like, yeah, well, the groups I'm in, though, they don't allow selling, so I can't use Quick Cash Method there. And I'm like, when did I tell you to sell? Like, you're going to make sales, but you're not going to sell. We're not in there to sell. We're in there to make sales. Different thing, different strategy. So if you're interested in learning about that, definitely check out my Quick Cash Method. It's in Handmade Sellers Club. Rosie says, is this just for Etsy or just Facebook? Great discussion. So Rosie, I do not talk Etsy. I am a Facebook lady. And I will talk about websites and all of that. When it comes to Etsy, I am not a fan currently. And it's really getting to the point. It used to be like, okay, you do your Etsy thing over there, but I'm going to show you how to build a business over here. More and more, I'm starting to be like, maybe you just skip Etsy altogether. It's getting pretty bad over on Etsy. What I teach is about building your own audience, your own tribe of followers who know, like, and trust you and want to buy from you. Pam mentioned at the beginning that you had somebody following you for a while now and kind of interacting with posts and was finally ready. You don't get that on Etsy. You're fighting against the search engines and the algorithm on Etsy. With Facebook, we're building real customer relationships, people that come back to you over and over again. And, sometimes it takes somebody 3 months to buy. Sometimes it takes them 3 days to buy, but they're in your world and they're part of your tribe. Let's see. Table quilt hanger and then hang the towels. Yeah, I like the idea of Connie said maybe you should use a table quilt hanger, then hang the towels. I'm not sure what a table quilt hanger is. But again, you want to have a background that's not very distracting. I like the idea of hanging them on a stove because that's where I would put them. Like if I'm going to hang them, I'm going to hang them on a stove or just like a towel hanger in a bathroom. Now, if you don't have maybe your bathroom, like, oh, I've got like the ugly tile from the 60s or something like that, find a place in your home and just install a table, a towel hanger in a well lit place of your home that has a neutral background that's maybe not too flat and boring. We don't want just like pure white, but maybe there's a little wainscoting or something, or, there's just kind of a little something happening there. And you could hang the towel hanger directly on your wall, and that's your photo place. And you could just take your photos there, and you could have your lighting set up there, or maybe it has good window lighting from there. That would be worth a test. Maybe before you put holes in the wall, like test it with something less permanent. But yeah, I like that idea. That could definitely work.
That's a good idea.
Let's see. Betty says, when I post every day, is it better to post at the same time every day? This question always bothers me. And the reason why this question bothers me, it's not that it's a bad question. It's like, it's missing the point. The point is not to try to like gain the algorithm and, post at like the perfect time or if that's the time you have to post every day, if you're like, the only time I have to post is 6 a.m. and you post every day at that time, there's nothing wrong with that. What is more important is, do I have something good and interesting to say today? Is what I'm posting engaging my audience? Because then if you post at 6 a.m. or 6 p.m. or at noon or at I do say this, sometimes there's a problem with going too late, but I've seen posted really late that do really well, because if it's good, they'll react to it. Those that are on at that moment will react to it. And Facebook will say, well, your followers tend to be on at this time. I'm like, cool. Then they'll see it at 6. If I post it at noon, it doesn't die before 6. There's people on at noon. They'll engage, they'll feed the algorithm. And then Facebook's like, oh, cool. When the 6 o'clock guys come on, then I'll show it to them, because Facebook's seeing that it's a good post. So don't get too obsessed about times and time of day and all of that. My whole thing is I try not to do it too late, because then most people go to bed and there's just a long period of quiet on the post. And it could sometimes, my gut tells me that lets the algorithm peter out a little bit. But if that's the only time you have to post, because Facebook, if it got good engagement that little bit of time in the evening and it comes to morning and people are back on, then Facebook's going to put it out there. Judy says, this was great. I too embroidered towels. I did the Monarch video. That's you, Judy. Found lots of helpful comments. Perfect. I loved your Monarch video because it made me lean in and like, I want to see this thing get finished. So perfect. Thank you so much, Pam. Is there any last comments?
No, you covered everything, and I appreciate you having me.
I appreciate you being here. I'm going to ask you something. I'm going to ask you a favor. If anybody out there is not in Handmade Sellers Club and they're kind of on the fence, they're not sure if it's for them, what would you say to them about joining Handmade Sellers Club?
Do it.
Do it.
Do it. I went from under 50 followers to 200 and what am I, 38 now? I'm getting the right followers, which I didn't have before. It was all friends and, the groups you go to, follow me and I'll follow you back. Yeah, I was doing that. And that is so bad. I learned that from you. It's so bad. I just, if you're on the fence, do the little, are you still offering the mini?
Well, right now it's we do have a trial, 2 weeks for $7.
That's what I was talking about. Give it a try. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
I love it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate your kind words about the program. We work really, really hard at making it the most comprehensive step-by-step program for handmade sellers. And thank you for being the first guinea pig to come up here and do a hot seat live in front of everybody. You should be very proud of yourself. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. And we shall see you next time. Bye.
Thank you, Allie. Have a good day.
You too.